Oh, there's also something really funny. Zencastr has screwed up in the exporting, and for some reason, and it happened for like 3 shows in a row. Even though I'm the one talking and I'm the heavily dominant one talking, stayed on your screen and had me in the corner for like the last probably 4 or 5 minutes of each episode.
What? Okay.
So it's just like main screen if you like.
That's what matters. That's the content.
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 What the hell?
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 Hello, everybody, and welcome to What the Hell Should I Watch? The weekly rundown of what we're watching, which may become what you're watching, coming at you every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time on stevestebbing.ca. Chloe is back with us this week. She's got a couple things to bring to the podcast later. I honestly had a busy weekend of movie watching at the theaters, a top 3, and you've got a lot under your belt to bring at a later date. That's piling up, I guess.
Yeah, it is. My workload.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get started. Fresh for your eyeballs this week, and this is the adaptation of a piece of literature from Emily Bronte that I feel has a lot of people that are very precious about it. So when a provocative writer-director comes along and puts a couple of quotations around it, well, people get a little upset. This one's Wuthering Heights.
A passionate and tumultuous love story set against the backdrop of the Yorkshire moors, exploring the intense and destructive relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine Earnshaw. Starring Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi, Hong Chow, Shazad Latif, Alison Oliver, Martin Clunes, and Ewan Mitchell. Written and directed by Emerald Fennell.
And Alison Oliver is low-key the MVP in this film as Margot Robbie's sister-in-law. There we go. I was like, my brain just froze for a second there. But I don't know. This movie is beautiful. I really was not bored for a second of it just because it's so well shot and it looks incredible. It's a VistaVision shot film for the most part. Which is only the fourth film in the 21st century to do that. The other ones are The Brutalist, One Battle After Another, and Begonia are all shot VistaVision. This movie is really gorgeous and never dull for a second because the story is kind of wild in how overwrought it is and how Emerald Fennell is like this pent up sexual thing, this whole like unbridled but pent up, and the big problem people are having with this is apparently in the original Bronte book, Heathcliff is black, so making him Jacob Elordi doesn't really fit with that. But again, this is that title in quotation marks, and I don't think Emerald has any interest in doing anything like fully faithful. She's just kind of using a through line, and this really is only the first half of the book. Like it's not telling the whole story. So but the score for this one, if we're gonna get nerdy for a little second, because I have to touch on this, is done by a guy named Anthony Willis, who usually works with Emerald Fennell, but also did the first Megan movie. But aside from that score, there are original songs throughout this film by Charli XCX. Surprisingly, it sounds crazy, but they work within this kind of hazy, dreamlike surrealness and like debauchery that you're kind of seeing from time to time. And I don't know, it maybe I just, because I'm a fan of Charli XCX, that I can like rationalize it and I'm basically what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm in totally enabling it because I'm a fan. I'm totally brat. But it just adds like another layer to the texture of this. This movie is super pulpy. It feels like kind of like instant cult. Like it's going to be a film that's regarded like kind of like Marie Antoinette was like a decade after, where the pulpy nature of that one and the colorfulness of it became kind of chic and people were into it. I kind of feel like for me, it was kind of like, I felt like that initially, like this definitely feels like it'd be in the cult section of genre. Let's get a little more nerdy for a second. The film was shot by Alina Sandgren, who I've already talked about on the show recently, because he shot Jay Kelly. But he is currently, or then maybe wrapping up now, shooting Dune Part 3 is one of his next big ones. So looking forward to that one, obviously. And another like a cool behind the scenes thing is Kathy's bedroom at Thrushcross Grange, her marriage home. The bedroom there, it's the walls and the aesthetic is all a photocopy of Margot Robbie's actual skin, like with freckles, veins, like it basically what she did. The production designer is named Susie Davies, and her graphic department manipulated the images, intensified the veins, experimented with latex colors, and printed Robbie's skin behind stretch padded panels. It's a really neat looking effect on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Jen leaned over and told me that's what it was like when they first entered that room, and I was like, whoa, that is a fucking choice for sure. But honestly, this movie is going to appeal to a certain audience. My screening was surprisingly kind of well attended. And I mean, it's art smut. You know what I mean? Like it really is art smut, but I think it succeeds in exactly what it wants to do. And I don't think it needs as deep picking apart that it is getting right now, in my personal opinion. All right, moving on to something definitely different, but featuring a really stacked cast and a genre that doesn't get a lot of focus in big screen films these days. This is Crime 101.
An elusive thief eyeing his final score encounters a disillusioned insurance broker at her own crossroads. As their paths intertwine, a relentless detective trails them, hoping to thwart the multi-million-dollar heist they are planning. Starring Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro, Corey Hawkins, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Nick Nolte, and Halle Berry. Written and directed by Bart Layton.
That's a hell of a cast. Like, you got two Avengers in there. Halle Berry, who technically is an Avenger. Storm's an Avenger. So hoping for hoping for Avengers Doomsday that she's in there. But yeah, we don't really get these sleek like these crime dramas, these thief, like dedicated thief films very often. And Crime 101 does it quite well. It's really well shot. It purrs like a kitten. Like, it just moves from point to A to B by doing a multi-character story, led by three very skilled actors in Chris Hemsworth, who generally isn't a very, like a guy that you would be like, oh, well, he's an Academy Award nominated guy. He's not there yet, but he's getting better. Halle Berry, who has won an Academy Award, and Mark Ruffalo, who is definitely going to win an Academy Award at some point because he is just damn good. And doing a genre piece, really. And the players inside the game are a lot of fun too, if not a bit cliched. Like, Barry Keoghan is your, young punk thief on a motorcycle that's like the disruptor kind of thief, right? Like, smash and grab guy. And really cocky and all that kind of stuff. Like, basically the easy Barry Keoghan character. But it all melds to be a pretty well-oiled hum of a film when you're watching it on the big screen. I will say the only thing detrimental to this movie is maybe in the after effect of it, it is maybe a little disposable. It's not a movie that's going to stick around. It's not your one battle after another or anything like that. It is meant to be a quick Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Like, it is just quick, one and done, and you're on your other side of it and on the rest of your day, and you might think about it at some point during that day, but probably not again after. But it's still a solid sit, and I enjoyed it for the most part. And some TV players I thought were interesting in the background. This one playing rich pricks, obviously. Tate Donovan, who's showed up in a lot of different stuff, and Paul Adelstein, who I'd say TV wise, his big thing was Prison Break. But it's been a while since I've seen him. And Devin Bostick, who was recently in Mile End Kicks, which is a fantastic little film that is yet to be released in this year 2026. And when it does, we're going to make sure you get a screener for it because it's really, really, really good. Chandler Levac made it. She's made a movie called I Like Movies. I don't know if you've seen that. You've seen that one? That movie is so good.
Yeah.
Really, really love that movie. So, Devin Bostick's in that. This is actually based on a novella by Don Wilson, who wrote the novel that Oliver Stone made Savages out of. And nerdy time. The score for this one was done by Blank Mass, who is an artist that did the score for Ted K, the Unabomber movie with Charlotte Copley. I don't know if you ever saw that one. It's no. It's an interesting, quiet little character piece. Charlotte Copley is such an underrated actor.
Oh yeah, really and is. that reminds me. I rewatched District 10 the other day. Or sorry,
District 9.
District 9. But a month ago, District 10 was announced to be in the process of starting. Like, they're writing it.
Do you know what? Do you want to hear something crazy? Living here in Penticton, Neil Blomkamp lives in Naramata.
Really?
One of his films, Demonic, was done during the pandemic out here in Penticton.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he did it like kind of like guerrilla style because all productions were shut down, right?
Right.
Yeah. Fun fact. So the film was shot by Eric Wilson, who I've actually talked about on the show before, because he shot Paddington in Peru. So actually, he shot all the Paddington movies. Every single one. Pedro Pascal was originally cast but had to drop out of the film for scheduling conflicts, probably because it conflicted with the 7 or 8 other movies he was doing at the time. But he was replaced by Mark Ruffalo, so he would have been the cop character in this film. And a little more trivia. James and Lou discussed Steve McQueen during their car ride near the end of the film. And James says his favorite Steve McQueen film is Bullet, which is funny because in Zodiac, Mark Ruffalo plays Dave Toschi, a San Francisco San Francisco detective, who actually served as the real life inspiration for Steve McQueen's character in that film, Frank Bullet. So it's all connected.
It's all coming together.
But yeah, Crime 101. It's entertaining. It's recommendable on the sheer fact that it doesn't cut corners. It's well written. It's got some good character work. Solid actors that are likable actors. And I like a multifaceted thief piece for sure, with multi characters. So definitely worked for me. All right, and this next one was actually the mystery movie screened in theaters across North America last night as we're recording this, and I was making the guess that this movie was going to be the movie we'd be seeing, and I was right. I feel like I'm really good at nailing these movies down. The mystery doesn't become a mystery when I'm investigating it. But this one's called How to Make a Killing.
Disowned at birth by his obscenely wealthy family, blue-collar Beckett Redfellow will stop at nothing to reclaim his inheritance, no matter how many relatives stand in his way. Starring Glenn Powell, Margaret Qualley, Jessica Henwick, Bill Camp, Zach Woods, Topher Grace, and Ed Harris. Written and directed by John Patton Ford. That cast.
Yeah, another like really solid cast.
Like Topher Grace, like
yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I know. And this is a dark comedy, so about rich people at its core. So it's all of them getting to play up their douchiness. Like Zach Woods gets to do it big time, and Topher Grace plays like a like high up in the church community. Like he's like a what's his name? The guy in Houston, Joel Osteen. It's like one of those super church kind of douchebags, but not quite super church. But like, so it's playing up the heights of money and greed and everything. And Glenn Powell makes up for kind of a lackluster Running Man last year. A movie that I had kind of high expectations for, and it didn't really clear, especially being an Edgar Wright film. And I felt a little about that film. But this is a solid one, if not a step down for John Patton Ford as a filmmaker. He did the Aubrey Plaza thriller, Emily the Criminal, which is phenomenal. That movie is so fucking good. And the tension in that movie, you couldn't even cut with a knife. Like, it is steel cable tension. And John Patton Ford did a really, really solid job of that one. But this one, it kind of, it felt like a dark comedy with not enough comedy to it. Like, the script didn't allow enough comedy. Like, it's still a solid enough film that I largely enjoyed, but I just feel like it doesn't dig in enough. It feels like it plays it a little more safe. And as much as I love Margaret Qualley, she's still digging on that film noir style that she was doing for the last 2 movies with Ethan Cohen for Honey Don't and Drive Away Dolls. It feels like she was just leaning a little too far into that. I love Jessica Henwick. I really, really dig her and in everything I've seen her in. I should watch Sense8. I've never seen it before, but I should watch it because apparently that's where the first thing that people saw her in was that. But yeah, I dig her a lot, and I feel like she's not in a lot of stuff. And Bill Camp is so great in this film. I really, really dig him. Let's talk some nerdy bits here. The score was done by Emile Mosseri, who did Joe Talbot's The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is a phenomenal film. Minari for Lee Isaac Chung, and Kajillionaire for Miranda July, starring Evan Rachel Wood, which is a very, very quirky and odd film. But on the television side, he did the score for Homecoming, which is a really weird show in itself as well. So the film was shot by Todd Banhazel, who shot Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez for Lawrence Scafaria, and a Prime Video movie called Blow the Man Down, which is like a maritime like murder mystery with Margot Martindale. Really, I really dug that movie. I thought it was pretty solid. But he also shot the TV show Winning Time: The Rise of the Laker Dynasty, which was produced by Adam McKay and has John C. Reilly. I like that series. It's solid. And then music video side comes out. I did the music video for Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer. Mike Snow's Heart is Full, which I fucking love that song. And Lord's Team. So, and we all love the Lord. At least I love the Lord. I'm a big Lord fan. So, but yeah, this one is out today. You can see this one in theaters from VVS here in Canada, and I think it's a solid watch. Like I said, Glenn Powell has that leading charisma. He's got a likable face. And I think he has a big career. And some of this movie definitely skates by on his shoulders. The rest of it is John Patton Ford's studious direction, that's for sure. All right, I added a few things to my library, so let's get to it. New to the library this week, and this one almost squeaked by under my radar. I thought I had already talked about it, but I hadn't yet. I got the entire series of Lucifer on Blu-ray. And to be honest, I think I've only seen the stuff that Fox made. I don't think I ever saw any of the Netflix stuff. So I dig this show. I liked the comic of where it came from. I was already a fan of it before the series came out. But once they cast Tom Ellis, it really became its own thing to me, because he is, and this is going to sound like corny cliche, but he's devilish in his own way. And I really dig this about him, and the surrounding cast around him is pretty solid as well. And I like Kevin Alejandro. And once you get into the deeper lore of Lucifer's past and all that stuff, and the cast of characters from his past that show up, I find it very interesting. Also, I saw this on the list, and I only ordered it for one reason. The film was called Dillinger. It was made in 1973, and it starred Warren Oates. The reason I saw this on the list and ordered it, because I love Warren Oates, mostly because of all the stuff that he did with Sam Peckinpah. Just a huge fan. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia is one of my favorite films of that era, for sure. But then once getting this one, so it's like a biopic about John Dillinger, so it's a gangster flick, but it's written and directed by John Milius, who did like Apocalypse Now, Conan the Barbarian, John fucking Milius. Like, this guy made badass films. And it has like a crazy cast, including a young Richard Dreyfuss. And I was like, how did I not know anything about this movie? So I was kind of caught off guard by it. So I'm very looking forward to bringing that to the show eventually. And Warner Brothers released a couple of 4K collector's editions from their vault, and I always love when they do this stuff because this is how I get films like this one, Ben-Hur on 4K, Charlton Heston, one of the epics of its time, a film that's still brought up as one of the biggest early blockbuster films. And another one, All the President's Men, with Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, a film that feels so direly important right now in an era where we're losing journalism all the time, and to go back to an era where the story and the journalists mattered, and but to do it in 4K. This is an Alan J. Pakula fucking masterpiece, and I'm super happy to have those now in the collection and to go over them with a fine-tooth comb in all its 4K glory. We're almost ready to get out of here, but I wanted to bring back a segment that I haven't talked about in a while. That's right, movie journeys, and this is one that's going to be kind of intermittently in the show because there are over 30 films in the series, and I have so many to go through. This is only the second time I've talked about this series, but it's a classic, and I know a lot of people that are actually going through their own watch of this series, so where there's a kinship there, but this is From Russia with Love.
James Bond willingly inserts himself into an assassination plot involving a naive Russian beauty in order to retrieve a Soviet encryption device that was stolen by the evil Spectre organization. Starring Sean Connery, Pedro Armendariz, Lottie Lenya, Robert Shaw, Bernard Lee, and Daniela Bianchi. Directed by Terrence Young.
And Pedro Armendariz looks really terrible in this movie. It's because he was dying of cancer, and it's because of another film. I forget what the film's called, but they filmed it. It was filmed near a nuclear power plant, and that's why he was dying. It was back in a time where they, like in an era and a time where they didn't vet that kind of shit, right? So
I feel like a really horrible person for finding that funny.
Well, welcome to the club. But I don't know. Is Julius a Bond guy?
I don't know, actually. No? He likes to do a Sean Connery impression, but
he might be a little bit of a like if because most Connery impressions come from Bond.
Yeah,
like that's the gist of it, and a lot of them would probably come from this movie in particular, which this might get me shot, but I would say that From Russia with Love might be the peak Bond Connery, and this is saying this early because Goldfinger is still to come, because that's the next film in succession here, but there's something about this film that I really love. The jetpack stuff, the opening of this film, I think is really great. There's just something just that I really dig to the heart of this film. I think this is the most Bond of the Sean Connery ones. Of course, before it gets really offensive in You Only Live Twice. But this movie is a lot of fun, and it definitely doesn't make you. It keeps you excited for going through all of these films, and like I said, there's over 30 of them. So, you sometimes you need the steam to keep that train going. But Desmond Llewellyn, he's addressed as Boothroyd in this film. And because this is kind of where he gets the Q name, because then he would go on to play Q through all the films. And then his final film was The World Is Not Enough with Pierce Brosnan in the late 90s. Yeah, I'll say in the late 90s. But Q is like one of my favorite parts of the Bond movies because he's the gadget guy. He's the guy that hooks Bond up with all of his technology, and I always loved that stuff. Sean Connery himself said that this was his favorite of his Bond movies. Steven Spielberg was convinced to cast Robert Shaw in Jaws after watching him in this movie. And this was the final James Bond movie released during Ian Fleming, the creator of Bond's Lifeline. Lifetime, sorry. He died 1 month before Goldfinger was released in the UK. But I mean, it's this series of films is what makes a movie journey, especially when you have the box sets of them and you're going through them and checking out the special features and everything on them. And it kind of reminds me of back when I used to watch them on like TBS and the marathons during the holidays. But the only thing about that is generally they aired them out of order. So this time I'm doing them in order, maybe for the first time in my life doing them in order. All right. We're almost going to get out of here, right?
But so 2 buts. First one, I guess I'll get this out of the way since you already talked about it last week. But Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Yes.
We saw this at VIF. Fantastic. I mean, like, so just like, I think we've said before, just like a love letter to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've never been there, but, and you know, as a West Coaster, I feel like it's inherently like subliminally messaged to me to not like the East Coast.
Yeah.
You know, like some sort of like sibling rivalry there. But I mean, this made me want to go to Toronto.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's Matt Johnson and Jay
McCarroll.
I've never seen them at all before this movie. Like, I didn't know who they were at all.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie just made me fall in love with them. And I can't get over like how well done the time travel back to 2008 was done. It still just like blows me away. And I'm really, really glad to hear that it had like a phenomenal like opening and reception. So that makes me happy.
And so I was something that I don't think I got to talk about last week because of the garbled episode, but a great execution in joke setup and completion or callback. Like there's so many times, and like every time that there's a callback, it's fucking perfect. Every time, like the simple setups, and I'm enamored with them. There's so much great stuff in that movie, and
everything is like just so intentional and so like everything follows through. Everything has a purpose.
Yeah,
and I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a damn good movie.
Yeah. Second one is Greenland 2. I went into this thinking it was going to be absolute ass. I was expecting garbage, but it wasn't horrible. Like I feel like I enjoyed the second one just as much as the first one.
Oh wow.
The action and tension is still really great. Like I was focused on the film the whole time. Like there wasn't any point where I was like, okay, can we move on or like this is boring or like anything like that. It kept my attention. Of course, like in any like action thriller specifically like this, there's going to be times where it's like, what? Why was that decision made?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to like keep the story going. Kind of dumb things will happen sometimes where it's just like, what? But I mean, I appreciate it for what it is, which is I mean, it's Greenland 2. Like, I don't really know if anybody expected cinematic perfection from this. But it is good for what it is, and it's a good action thriller just to kind of like mostly shut your brain off and just enjoy the ride.
Nice.
There's another thing that I just want to do a quick shout out for is that on Sunday, February 22nd, American Dad will be returning. They'll be back on Fox. They will be premiering season. Oh shit! What season is it?
It's gonna be in 20 by now.
22nd season.
Yeah.
American Dad's 22nd season will air on February 22nd on Fox after being on TBS since, I don't know, season 15 or something like that. It's been a while.
Holy shit. Wow. The re-return.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm really, really interested to see what direction they take it, because TBS, they stuck with Fox's model for a little bit and then they just went completely off the rails. Like, it's like at this point now, it is wacky and zany and just absolutely batshit. So I really wonder if there's going to be more of a return to form, and if Fox is going to be more stricter with episode structure and all that.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, we're almost going to get out of here, but I got a few reminders to talk about first. This week's reminders and out on 4K. A lot of these are out on 4K this week. Is Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and a sequel to a whole just a lore and a culture shift that I'm completely lost in. I really am. I can appreciate the Jim Henson Creature Company stuff in this, but other than that, I don't know. But you can get all of my thoughts of that on the December 12th episode of What the Hell Should I Watch? Also on 4K this week, and I've seen some sweet steelbooks of this, but Predator Badlands is out on 4K. This movie is awesome. You should have seen it on the big screen because it deserved the big screen because it just rocks. You can also watch it on Disney Plus right now as well. But I reviewed it on the November 14th episode, and then Chloe reviewed it on the November 28th episode, and both glowing. Also this week, speaking of not glowing, Now You See Me, Now You Don't is out on 4K. For some reason, they thought to bring the Horsemen back to do a whole new magic mystery that nobody cares about. But I reviewed it on the November 21st episode. Also out this week on Blu-ray is Zizou Road to Revenge. I got Chloe to watch the first movie, and hopefully the second movie will follow now, because this movie fucking rocks. I reviewed it on the November 28th episode, so you can go check out that episode for my review on Zizou and Chloe's review on Predator Badlands. And then lastly, Song Sung Blue, the Neil Diamond experience biopic with Hugh Jackman and an Academy Award nominated Kate Hudson. I got a copy of this one as well sent to me. I reviewed this one in the December 19th episode, and I actually thought it was kind of a surprise, a really nice surprise. So definitely worth checking out. But that brings us to a close here. What are we going to talk about next week? Next week, hopefully, I'm going to hopefully be able to see Psycho Killer. Have you seen the trailers for this movie?
I think so, yeah.
It looks cool. And it's got Georgina Campbell from Barbarian. And I don't know. I like a good serial killer movie, especially when it's a big guy in a gas mask. Like, okay, you got me aesthetic wise. Also, and this one's definitely for the retiree crowd, Midwinter Break, Leslie Manville and Kieran Hines in this drama, which might have a little bit of intrigue to it. I'm not too sure. And hopefully I will be watching Surratt. I've seen a lot of friends watching this movie and giving it very, very high marks. So it makes me excited for it. Also, I'm going to be bringing Pillion. Fun story. Jen and I started watching this movie, and right where Henry Melling's character goes on his first date with Alexander Skarsgård, your sister was milling around, and I definitely could not keep the scene on because it gets a little much for them to take in at this point in time. But that brings us to a close here. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads, and Blue Sky at the Stevel Dead.
You can find me on Letterboxd at HoneyBunChloe.
You can also find all of the episodes for this show on stevestebbing.ca or go to the YouTube page, and please like and subscribe. You can also find us on shiftheads.ca. You can hear me a few different places. First, on After the Credits with Marina, Bill, and Melissa. You can find those episodes at atcpod.ca. You can also hear me on Tremble, the Horror Podcast with Kurt and Taylor. You can find those episodes at 3angrynerds.com. And you can also hear me now on Kelowna's AM 1150 every Friday just after the 8:30 news break. And you can also hear me on Shane Hewitt and the Night Shift, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Toronto's News Talk 1010, found on the iHeartRadio network. You can also get all of those episodes wherever you get your favorite podcast. And that does it for us. We've emptied out our list for this week, so until next week, bye-bye.
Two other things I watched, not for the show because there's no point, but Silent Hill Revelation.
Oh boy, have you never seen it before?
No, I'd never seen it before.
Oh, okay,
it was worse than I thought it was.
It's so bad,
especially actually
when Kit Harington reveals who he is like some of the worst shit I've ever seen.
It's horrible. Like I was like, and like is he trying to do an American accent in this film? Because it's not working.
No, it's
not. Really bad.
This is pre-Game of Thrones too, right? So.
Yeah. They saw this and they're like, yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He looks like a guy that knows nothing.